So there hadn't been much progress on the Barndo build, mainly because the contractor that I've got lined up to do my metal building correction is just really busy. He's got 2 jobs ahead of me, so haven't been making much real progress in terms of construction. But I have settled on an insulation solution that you guys might be interested in. Now, I wanted the entire metal building insulated, including the roof. I really was looking at buying solid foam sheet insulation. I got to looking at it. I think 2.5-inch insulation was around about $45 a sheet. That was going to be pretty expensive. I still think that would have been, may have been a little cheaper than the spray foam, but I didn't want to get anybody involved out here doing that. And I didn't want to use the bad insulation. But I kept looking, and I came across this stuff on Craigslist, which is reclaimed PolyIsocarbonate rigid foam insulation. It's a closed cell. These are 3-inch bats or 3-inch sheets with about an R15 R value. Now, these have been recycled. From this, it appears there was probably a warehouse fire somewhere, and these sheets have some smoke damage. But I've already done a test. I can spray them down with Simple Green and rinse them off, and all the soot goes away and end up with a clean sheet. Now, you might not want to use this in your house, but for the inside of the barn itself, it'll be fine. And also note, you can see here some of the discolored ones. These are basically scorched. I bought 120 sheets of this stuff, enough to do the entire building, roof, ceiling, roof, walls, and porch. I will call out probably about 10% of this, but I bought a bunch of 4-inch material, which they didn't have very much of, but I got what they could, and I'll look at that in a minute. That'll make up for what's going to get lost out of here. So I'll give you a little closer up look at some of the stuff. Again, I've already culled this. That bottom half is what I would consider bad material. I won't be using it. That's why I've already got it stacked the way it is. But I've got a lot of this stuff. I don't know if you can tell, but here's the good stuff, the stuff with the plywood sheets. This is all good. And you can see, you know, it's not really scorched. It's pretty clean. I got plenty of that. The way this stuff is sold, they sell it on a pallet, or what they call a pallet, that's 8 feet tall. And they charge me $600 a pallet. So basically it's about this much more than this. But the way it actually comes bundled, so 8 feet divided by 3 inches is what this is. This is a 30 sheets per pallet. It's actually bundled together in 15 sheet packages. I don't know if they'll sell it at the smaller bundle level or not. I didn't ask, and I bought it sight unseen. Now there's 3 grades of this, A, B, and C. I don't know if this is B or A. It's one of the 2. I bought a pallet of C grade material because it was really cheap. It's $150 for the same 8-foot stack. But in hindsight, I don't think I would recommend it. And we'll go look at that stuff in a little bit. Now, here's the 4-inch material I got over here. And I would say this is probably grade A. This doesn't look like it's been installed. I don't even sure if this stuff has been installed. And that stuff on top is just some culls I have. But I could end up with 25 sheets of the 4-inch. The problem is they just don't have very much 4-inch, especially here in the Dallas area. I got what they had, and that's it. So that's why I went with the 3-inch material. Now, if you're in San Antonio or El Paso where they have these warehouses and stuff, you may be better off, but you can call these guys up and ask. But what I plan to do with the 4-inch is basically insulate the metal building around where the living quarters will be, and that should be pretty good. So that's going to be about an R20. It's heavy, but I think I'll be okay at installing it. So now I'll go over here where I'll show you this batch of C-grade material and trying to explain why you probably don't want to get that unless you've got a big truck. Alright, I hope it's not too dark to see in here. So Here's the good stuff that I got from the C grade 2.5 inch pallet. Now this was when I picked this up, it was an 8 foot tall stack. You can see it's made up of broken pieces. There's corners broken. Here's a whole stack of pieces that were broken. The worst thing about this, it's not the material's that bad, because there's enough good material here you could use it. The problem is hauling it. That 8 foot tall stack had so many holes and gaps where the broken pieces were, it was completely unstable. So when they got it on my trailer, I knew I wasn't going to have to be able to drive it anywhere. It ended up unloading the trailer by myself and restacking this manually on a 16-foot trailer. So if you've got good equipment to haul this, it's a steal at $150 for that 8 foot tall stack. Now one of the things I found is in that C grade material, I ended up with 5.5 sheets of 4 inch. And I think what they did is they took this good pieces of 4 inch and interspersed into that pallet so that it'd stabilize it all. And so really, if these are worth $20 a piece, I got $100 worth of material there. So I'm not too worried about it. And again, out here on the farm, we have buildings we can always insulate. We will use this stuff up. It just may not be in my Barndo. I can give you the information on how to contact these folks. Like I said, I found it on Craigslist. There's stuff out there I can still see today, but it's a different company and it's much more expensive than what this is. But I can give you the contact for the folks I bought this from. So far I'm pretty happy with it. The worst part about it, it was a job. I spent a week hauling all this stuff up here. I was able to get, close to 65 3-inch sheets on a 16 flatbed trailer without stacking it much more than 6 feet tall in the tallest part. And it's so light and hauls easy, but it's not a one-man job. These pieces are, like I say, they're light, but they're bulky. With a little bit of wind, you almost can't handle them. So fortunately I have my son to help me. But anyway, I'll do another video when I actually start doing the installation of this, but I just thought I'd give people a heads up. I know there's lots of people building Barndos, and this might be something they could find useful. Thanks.